So next one, next condition is Sampayutta Paccaya, associating condition. Coexist phenomena that are associated. This is a past participle, meaning connected, associated, yoked together, or conjoined. It implies a close cooperative relationship, like two horses yoked at the same chariot working in unison. As before, this main condition, cause or support. Therefore, Samayutta Paccaya is a condition of associating or coordination condition. It's one of 24 conditions outlined by Paṭṭhāna, the seventh book of Abhidhamma Pitaka, his profound and exhaustive analysis of causality from a Theravada perspective. So we look further into a Samyutta Paccaya. Describe the condition relationship between a chitta, consciousness, and its concomitant Cittasika, mental factor, that arise together in a single conscious moment. So actually, this chitta and Cittasika are of this nature, Samyutta Paccaya, association condition. The key principle of the fourfold association. At any moment of consciousness, the following four phenomena are inextricably linked with mutual supportive. This one you'll study in earlier years. First year, Citta, consciousness. The bare awareness object is a leader, the one who knows. Okay. Cittasika, mental factor. The mental quality that color the consciousness. Example, including feeling, perception, volition, contact, attention, greed and hatred, faith, and mindfulness. And the rupa, the physical one, in some contexts, particularly the material quality that produced by the consciousness, like bodily intimation or speech intimation. And then nibbana, in some texts, this refers as an unconditioned element, which is associated in the transcendent sense. So we look further on what is this Samyutta Paccaya is about. However, the most critical and practical application is a mutual condition between the citta and cittasika. What is the association? Single base. Or the first three. One, the citta, cittasika, and the rupa. They all arise based on the same physical base. Example, the heart base in Abhidhamma theory. The single object, they take the same object. Example, visual form, a sound or a thought. Stimulus arising. They arise exactly at the same time. Stimulus cessation. They cease exactly the same time. Mutual support. They mutually support and strengthen each other. So you can quote this Samyutta Paccaya on the Citta, Cittasika, and Rupa. These three work in this manner. Okay, good example, a movie projector. The Citta is a pure bright light projected onto the screen. The Cittasika are the color, shape, and images on the film strip, right? So you think of this in the projector. So without the light, the images cannot be seen. You must see the light shining on the images. Without the images, the light is just a blank, pictureless beam. So you need all these together. Together at the same time, they create a specific knowable movie scene, right? So this is Samyutta Paccaya. The light and the images are associated, yoked together to produce a single unified experience. Am I wrong? Projector, you need all these elements to be present in order to see a movie. Next one. A road rage incident. You are cut off in a traffic accident by another car. So first thing, the object, the visual form of another car coming far away behind you. The feeling of a car swaying, the thought of did that on purpose. Okay? I mean, a car on you are moving on the left, and suddenly a car on the right from nowhere, it just shoot right into a path. Right? This is the object. Then the thought come. What's the purpose? The citta, a moment of rootless, unpleasant consciousness, domanasa, sahagatam, cittam arise. So, moment, the car on the right just cut into a path. Then this citta will, you are a mindful person, this automatic, the rootless consciousness will arise. So whether good or bad is how you react to it. So after the car cut into a path, this associate citta will arise. We call it as a crew, the feeling, the vedana. So this feeling of unpleasant, a source of negativity arise. So you feel very, very unpleasant. Wow, cut off into my path. Then with this feeling, you have this perception, the sana. The perception that labels the other driver as idiot or threat to me. So this is the next one with all this samyata pacaya on this associate etisasika. And then volition, the cetana, the next one will rise. The intention to retaliate, maybe honking loudly or shouting or tailgating. All these things one by one will rise next. And then the next following that, evolution is a hatred, dosa. The primary defilement of anger, aversion. This one was follow the next one. Wow, anger rise. Oh, they are more and more frustrated. Then your contact the past. The impeachment entire event on your mind. So this picture of the starting of how this car cut in your to your path of your this vehicle. Wow, the whole video play on top of you. Wow, then this video will make you even more whether if your bad intention will make you more angry. So attention, the manasika. Your attention is fixated on the other car and the perceived injustice. You feel that you are being bullied by the other car. So one process after that, this cetasika arise. Then this house, the samyutta pachaya works here. First one, the anger, dosa, does not exist in a vacuum. Okay? Dosa don't arise without reason. Is conditioned by and condition the entire mental state. So anger will arise by the condition. And then this anger, this unpleasant feeling, feels anger. This unpleasant feeling. It's like a burning coal or burning oil that make your anger even more powerful. And that anger intensify the unpleasant feeling. And then with this anger, this feeling from 10% to 100%, wow, become very, 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 very bad. So the perception of the driver as a jerk intensify the anger. So perception, this driver is some kind that make you more angry. So your anger shoot up again. The anger solidified the perception. And then this anger will make you to make your perception more solid. The volition to honk is driven by the anger and acting on the volition reinforce the entire angry mind moment. So this is samyutta pachaya of how in a car, some car cut into your path, that all this state of mind that make you becoming more and more angry. So all these factors of consciousness, feeling, perception, volition, hatred are yoked together. They call sambayutta, mutually supporting each other. So one after another to create a singer. So with all this mixture one together, one to six, the powerful destructive moment of road rage start. Wow, then depending on what kind of road rage you're going to start, whether fight or horn or whatever state they are. They arises together, exist together, and cease together, as a next mind moment, or perhaps a regret or fear takes over. So if you're a mindful person, this thing will cool down. If you are an angry person, this anger will be more like a hot fire. So the next one is a better one. The moment of heartfelt compassion. You see a video of a stranger or performing a great act of kindness. The object is a visual auditory data of kind. A moment of beautiful, wholesome consciousness, Sobhana, rooted in non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. So we see this example. So if you have this good one, the associate mental factor will start one after another. The feeling, you have a rise of a joy or serene satisfaction, right, helping somebody. Then the perception that label the action as compassionate, selfless, and good. Then the volition to appreciate the act or perhaps to emulate. Then the mental factor of loving kindness or compassion. Then the next one, confident in the goodness of humanity. A clear, non-direct awareness of the object. And the tranquility, a calmness of mind and body. Okay, yeah, good thing all these factors arise one after another. How the Samyutta Paṭṭhāna works here, the compassion, karuna, is not an isolated emotion. The joyful feeling makes the compassion warm and uplifting. The compassion gives depth and meaning to the joyful feeling. The faith in goodness allows the compassion to be arise easily. The compassion reinforces that faith. So mindfulness keeps the mind anchored in a wholesome state, preventing distraction and allows the compassion to fully develop. So all these beautiful mental factors associate mutually strengthen each other to create a single, unified, and uplifting mental state. This is Samyutta Paṭṭhāna operating as a wholesome, skillful way. So you can see which way the Samyutta is, whether the evil way or a good way. So it's a choice yourself, right? So with this thing explaining, you should know understanding of how your this mental state running. Next one. Vipayutta Tapacaya, dissociating condition. Coexisting phenomena that are unassociated. How it works, support where the condition appear as a distinct reality assisted by but not mixed with the conditioner used in Nama-Rupa interaction. At its heart, this Pacaya describe relationship where condition, the Pacaya Dhamma, support a condition state, the Pacayupanna Dhamma, specifically by not being associated with it, by being distinct and separate from it. This seems paradoxical at first, but can something support another by not being also connected? I mean, it can be something that is not connected with it. The key to understanding Abhidhamma precise definition of association, samyutta. So we will look further on about vipaka, yutta, pacaya. So technically it means is non-associate. In Abhidhamma, two mental states are associate or samyutta only if they simultaneously have all the four of these characteristics. Okay. So especially when you study earlier one, they arise together, they cease together, and have the same object, right? The chitta, chittasika, and the rupa, they of this manner, and share the same physical base, dependent on the same sense door. So when you talk about Abhidhamma, he's talking about chitta, chittasika, and the rupa. So they behave of this nature. Therefore, vipaka yutta pacaya comes into play when the conditions support a mental or physical state without fulfilling all these criteria. The most common application is in two primary scenarios. Material phenomena, I mean our physical body, supporting the mental phenomena, or vice versa in some interpretation. Consciousness is one cognitive series of supporting consciousness in a subsequent series, especially when your sense organ contact with an object. This is one cognitive series supporting the consciousness. This Paṭṭhāna highlights the fact that our mind and body, while deeply interdependent, are fundamentally separate categories of reality, nama rupa. The body supports the mind, right? The body, physical body supports the mind, not merging with it, right? Not merging with it, but by providing a separate, stable platform for its function, right? Our body and mind, they operate differently. Example, material supporting mental, rupa supporting nama. This is the most straightforward primary example. Material phenomena, the five sense bases and the heart base, the condition state. Mental phenomena, the consciousness and its mental factor. We're talking about these three of them. The material base, example, the eye. The eye is dissociate with mental consciousness. Okay, remember the eye is nothing to do with the mental consciousness. The physical eye is the matter, the rupa. The consciousness is the mind, the nama. They do not arise or cease at the exact same moment. They are fundamentally different in nature, right? If you look, these are all different. Yet the physical eye is an indispensable support for eye consciousness. You need a physical eye. Without an eye, there's no eye consciousness to arise. So without a functional eye, visual consciousness cannot occur. So that means you have eye, then you can see. The support works precisely because they are separated, right? Okay, modern example, computer hardware and software. Rupa supporting the nama. Okay, you think of computer hardware. The hardware part is the rupa, the software is the nama. Condition. The computer physical hardware, the processor, RAM, screen, all this, this is like a physical body and sense organ. Okay, just think of that. The conditional state, Paṭṭhāna-naya, the software program, the OS that is running, and the video game, and then those software like video game being played or the document being added, the Microsoft software, these are like consciousness and mental factor. Okay, you think of this way, the computer. So explanation, the hardware and the software are dissociated. They are two separate things. Hardware, software, they exist, but they are two separate things. The physical silicon chip is not the same as the logical code of the software. So when you talk about computer, the silicon chip, nothing to do with the software. The software is a series of binary number that is doing the coding. They are completely different categories of existence. However, the hardware is an essential condition for the software to run. You need the computer hardware before the software can be loaded and run on it. So without the hardware, the software cannot function. And the hardware support the software precisely by being separate physical foundation. So when you play a game or run a document, the computer components are not in the game world, but they make the game world possible. Right? So you understand the computer and the software exactly like this. Dissociated, but they need this to be run so that the two in a working condition. So second example, the state and the play, rupa supporting nama. Think of the physical state, lights and props, okay, in the event, and the condition state, the play itself, the drama, the emotion, the character and the story. Okay, think of this. The state and play are dissociated, right? When you are in an event, let's say you're playing a show, the state and the actor are different. The wooden plank of the state are not the tragedy of the Hamlet. I sent you a show about Hamlet. It's about different thing. Yet the state is necessary because you need the state to start this event. For the play to be performed, it provides the separate, stable space where the drama can be unfold. So if the state collapse, I mean the physical one, the sand base is damaged, the play stop. I mean there's no show for this state to exist. So this is basically explaining how this Vipayuta Pacaya works. Next one, Ati Pacaya. The presence of a phenomena condition others. The actual presence of a Dhamma at the time of condition is what makes it Pacaya. It must be exist in the moment of to be a condition. Paramata, present chitta, chittasika, and rupa is used to analyze where a current present factor condition another. In simple form, this pacaya state that for phenomena to arise or persist, the mere presence of another phenomena is supporting condition, is a condition of simple direct availability. Unlike other specific conditions that describe a particular mode of support, like object condition, proximity condition, Ati Pacaya is board and foundation. Essentially said, because this is present, that can come to be or continue to be. So we look further on what is this try to explain. So what does it govern? The Ati Pacaya operate in several key domains, covering both static support for things that are already arisen and dynamic support for things that are in the process of rising. So according to Paṭṭhāna, the great treatise on the condition relation, Ati Pacaya applies to state that have already arisen supporting other state that have already arisen. Example, coexisting mental factor supporting each other. I mean the Cettasika. State that already arisen supporting state that are in the process of reason. A pre-existing sense base enabling a new moment of sense consciousness. And these are things in Paṭṭhāna, they are talking about this Ati Pacaya work. Material phenomena supporting the other material phenomena arise simultaneously or subsequently. Example, the four great elements supporting the derived materiality. Remember the four Mahaputtas are forming the material. Past state supporting the present state. This is a key aspect where the present is understood as a conditioned state or past state that is still efficacious. This makes Ati Pacaya incredibly wide-ranging governing relationship between mental state and other mental state, material state and other material state, mental and material state in specific ways. Past causes and present causes. So we look further into it. Okay, another example on computer again. The operating system and open application coexistent. The presence of a loaded computer operating system OS. Example, OS Windows 11. And the condition state, the function of a word processor and web browser that are currently open. Example, your this Office 365 and then also a Chrome web browser. So this is talking about condition and condition state. So explanation, the OS does not necessarily create a word processor at every moment, but it's constant, active present in the computer RAM. I mean, all these things are software already present, uploaded into the computer RAM. It's a fundamental condition for the application to exist and run. I mean, to run an application or something, let's say the Office 365 already been loaded into the computer RAM, and it's down there already. So you need down there to be present. So if the OS crashes, I mean the Windows 11 crashes, its present is lost, and all the application immediately cease function. Okay, remember, suddenly out of nowhere, your window 11, something like that, suddenly gone haywire. And the moment it go haywire, all your Office 365 or whatever application running, all also catch together. Okay? So this mirror how coexisting mental factor supporting each other. Okay? It's talking about Ati Pattaya. You need the OS to be run there, and then also the software, the application to be there. So one is down there, is ready for you to use. One it crashes, everything goes. Okay? There's no such thing as OS crash, application still running there. No way. Unless you have kind of double CPU, I mean two OS that run concurrently. So when it crash, the other one took over. And that will be another kind of new tech. Okay, so next one we're talking example 2, modern example. The foundation and the walls of a house. We know rather co-expert on this field. The condition, the presence of a strong, stable foundation and the steel frame of a building. So when you're doing a construction, you need to have this condition. The presence of strong, stable foundation and steel frame of building. So this is a condition. The condition state, the existence of the wall, window, and roofing. Okay. So explanation, the walls are dependent on the foundation and the frame simply being there. So in the building, you need to have the wall. I mean the foundation or the structure foundation and all the pillar, all that thing being there before you can put up all this wall. The foundation ongoing process is that allows the wall to remain standing. So you need all those pillars supporting there to make the wall standing there and perform their function. So all these pillar, all this to make the wall function that is support to each other, that this wall can be properly formed. So imagine a wall without the pillar, it can come down anytime. This is analogous to the 4 great elements supporting the real materiality. Example is a 4 great element that support the rupa. You need this 4 great element there. Without 4 great element, you no need to talk about the other 24. So two example. So you all need to remember how to explain and give an example. And then next one, nati pattaya absent or non-present condition. How it works? The absent, there's a previous dhamma where cease can be a necessary condition for something else to arise. In a dependent origination, the fall away of one dhamma allows the next to arise. Example, the falling away of one citta is not a bin, it's a nati pattaya for subsequent citta to appear. I mean, one citta gone, another one arise. Absent of phenomena condition others. It's a relationship where the ceasing or disappearing of a preceding state or condition act as a decisive supporting state for arising of a subsequent state, the result. In essence, the absence of A becomes a direct condition for the presence of B. It is not merely that B happens after A is gone. It is that the very act of A departure clears the space or the path and provides the necessary condition for B to arise. Okay? It's a type of when A departs, it clears space so that the B can stand on that to arise it. So we go further on that. In the Abhidhamma moment-to-moment analysis of consciousness, the nati pattaya is one of the 24 conditioned relations outlined in Paṭṭhāna, the 7 most compatible of Abhidhamma Paṭṭhāka. It works in this sequence A moment of consciousness, citta one, arises and performs a function. Then this moment then ceases completely. It doesn't go anywhere, it simply just stop existing. This very cessation of citta acts as a nati pattaya. So when this citta one goes off, nati paccaya for the immediate following moment of consciousness citta to arise. So without the first thought moment ceasing, the next one will not arise. The space it occupied must be vacated. I mean, citta A must move out, then citta B will come into place, the same place. Okay, let's give you an example. Imagine a line of people trying to pass through a narrow doorway. The first person must step through and vacate the doorway for the second person to be able to pass through. The absence of the first person in the doorway is a condition for the second person passage. Similarly, the death of one being, the cessation of life continuum, is the condition for the rebirth linking consciousness of next life to arise. Example, good example. When the being dead consciousness go, that means the cessation of life continuum, then the rebirth linking consciousness will come to arise. Right? So we give you an in-depth explanation, the two key forceps. The power of nati paccaya lies in the dual role. Forceps 1, making room, the necessary vacancy. This is the most straightforward aspect. A system, whether mental or physical, has limited capacity for a new state to arise, and the old one must relinquish its hold. Example, you cannot have a moment of greed. Right? You have one moment of greed coming out, and a moment of generosity occupying the same slot, same mental slot. Especially when you have a greedy thought, then you cannot have another this so-called charity come to upon your mind. As together, no such thing. So you must have this, clear off your greed. Then this next moment, the charity mental state will come into this particular slot. So the cessation of greedy mind is a direct condition for generous mind to arise. Right? So this is the way it works for this nati paccaya. Another modern example, overcoming a bad habit. You have a habit of reaching for a sugary snack when stressed. This is called a state of compulsive eating. So when you're stressed, you like to eat sweet food. To develop a new habit of mindful breathing when stressed. So state B, mindful coping. The absence of this compulsive urge is a crucial condition. So you must remove this habit of sweet snack when you're under stress. So you must remove it. The absence of this compulsive urge is a crucial condition. The thought that I will not eat the cookie must cease for the thought I will focus on my breath to take its place. So the disappearing of the old impulse create a mental space for a new response. So this is how modern psychology work of this stress problem. So another example, the cognitive process and learning. Okay. Scenario, a student is struggling to understand a complex math problem. He is under confusion and wrong approach to classify him. So in Nyati Paccaya work, the student finally let go of this faulty approach. I mean, he have this mental block. This mental block, when it clear away, the cessation and absence of that wrong mental model is a direct condition for the moment of understanding, state B. So when you remove that condition, then state B can arise. Clarity and correct solution to arise. The mind must abandon the wrong path to find the right one. Okay, this is studying how you approach study. Second scenario, an artist is stuck on painting, overwork, and creative block and frustration. I mean, he cannot think further, mental block. That he cannot even think of how to paint further. So when you talk of nati paccaya action, the artist decided to stop and put the brush down and walks away. So this cessation of the frenetic effort by frustrated thinking creates the condition for inspiration to strike later in the shower. And this article went for shower and then receive inspiration during a shower. And this is state B, a fresh and creative insight come into his mind. The absence of the striving allows the subconscious to present a solution. So this idea comes, and then you replace the earlier which have been vacated. Next one. Vigata Paṭṭhāya, fallen away, disappearing condition. Similar to Nati Paṭṭhāya, a Dhamma that's already fallen away acts a condition for subsequent event, the finished state functioning as a background cause. Example, the memory has gone to rest, maybe Vigata Paṭṭhāya for a new cognitive event. The disappearance of phenomenal condition, others. So it's a relationship where the prior continued absence of state serves as a supporting condition for the persistence or development of subsequent state. The key difference from Nati Paṭṭhāya is one timing and function. Nati Paṭṭhāya is a moment of cessation, enabling the immediate arising of the next thing. So when you talk about Vigata Paṭṭhāya, it's an ongoing absence that provides the stable condition environment for something to continue existing. Here is the thing that has been disappeared. Then this stable environment for something to exist. So in the Paṭṭhāna, Vigata Paṭṭhāya is like Nati Paṭṭhāya, describe a relationship between preceding and succeeding state consciousness. However, its role is distinct. Nati Paṭṭhāya, the act of cessation of Citta 1. Okay, for Nati, act of cessation of Citta 1 is a condition for arising of Citta 2. That's why you learned earlier. Vigata Paṭṭhāya, the fact that Citta 1 has ceased, has gone to condition for continuity and stability of the subsequent mental process. And Citta 2, 3, so on to arise. Okay? This is talking about because of the Citta 1, 2, 3, 4 all can exist. Okay? Subsequently come. Think of a seed sprouting in a field. Farming. From a sprout, the resultant state grow and thrive. The seed condition state must cease to exist as a seed. Okay? When you plant a seed, the seed grow, the seed will disappear. Remember, you grow a seed, the plant grow up, the seed will disappear. The continued absence of the intact seed is the condition of the persistent support of the sprout. The seed has departed, and departure that follows the plant life to continue. Remember the seed, when you start growing, the seed just disappear. Then what's the rest is the growing state of the plant. Okay, here I give you a even more in-depth explanation. Sustained absent. The power of Vigata Paṭṭhāya that highlights how an absent isn't just a one-time event, but an ongoing supporting ground. For set 1, providing a stable empty state. A state must not only disappear to make way for the next moment, must stay gone, here must be permanently gone, to allow the new state to develop without interference. A moment of wholesome consciousness, example, generosity, arises. For this wholesome state of mind to develop into a sustained volitional force, the unwholesome state of greed, aversion, must not only cease momentarily, but must remain absent. Okay, that's how I try to explain. It must remain absent so that this good mind state will always be there. The continued departure is a condition that allows the wholesome state to perceive and bear fruit. I mean, can no way this unwholesome state be here for the wholesome state to exist center? No way. So the unwholesome state must be off so that this wholesome state will keep on continuing. Modern example, achieving a state of float. When a programmer, those that are writing software, is deeply focused on coding, that means states B, float. This state can only perceive If distraction like thoughts of social media, hunger, or anxiety, state A, have not only stopped arising momentarily but remain absent. The continued departure of these distracting thoughts is a condition that sustains float. If the distraction return, the float state collapse. So for a programmer to focus, he must have this mind that not distract by distraction. Example, physical health and recovery. Example, a person is sick with a viral infection, let's say a illness. So when in action, this person takes medicine and rests. The virus is killed and departs from the body. The continued absence of this active virus is departure. It's a direct condition for body to rebuild its strength and health. I mean to wellness. So this state of wellness persists precisely because the state of illness remains gone. And if the virus returns, wellness ceases. Okay? We're talking about health recovery. Second example, we're talking about a person addicted to smoking. They quit smoking. The first few hours about cessation of the act related to nati paccaya. However, for long-term sobriety, state B, to solidify, that means to have permanent get away from smoking, the ongoing departure of both the physical and nicotine dependent and the psychological craving for essential condition. This persistent absence of the addictive urge is that allowed the new identity of a non-smoker to stabilize and persist. I'm not talking about how you get rid of smoking. So if for analysis, vigata paccaya. And finally, this last condition, avigata paccaya, not yet fallen. Non-disappearing condition. How it works. The fact that a condition dhamma has not yet fallen away, it persists, and supports the condition dhamma, used to clarify the stopper timing and relation among the simultaneously present factor. When you apply to the citta or cittasika cluster that persists to the instant and condition other than the co-present factor, the continuing existence of phenomenal condition other, the condition of non-departure or the condition of non-disappearance. Simple meaning is a relationship with where the condition present or persistent of a state serve as a direct support for the present or stability of another concurrent state. In essence, A is present, has not disappeared. B has not disappeared. The A is present, has not disappeared. B can be present. It describes the sustaining power of coexistent phenomena. That means A is still there and it's not disappear, but B can remain present. So it describes this sort of sustaining power of coexistent phenomena. So in Abhidhamma context, within the Paṭṭhāna 24 conditional relationship, Avigata Paccaya is one of the most pervasive. He explains how the various mental factors, Cittasika and mental phenomena, Rupa, to support each other simply by being present. Classic analogy from exists that lamps in a room. The light of one lamp does not cause the light of another lamp, but the continual presence of all lamps that is collectively illuminates the room. If one lamp goes out, vigata, the room becomes darker. The present avigata is a condition for the total illumination. I mean, all the light must be present. Mental factor. The presence of contact is a condition for the presence of feeling. The presence of feeling is a condition for the presence of craving. They co-arise, mutually support each other existence in that mind moment. And when we talk about material quality, the earth element, the water element, the fire element, and the air element are mutually supportive as avigata. The presence of solidity allows the presence of cohesion which in turn support the temperature and so on. And when it comes to mind and body, at the moment of experience, the presence of physical base like the I is a condition for rising of the corresponding consciousness, and the simultaneously present supports the cognitive process. So if we explain further, the sustained present, the power of Abhidhamma is that support the interdependent web-like nature of reality. Things do not exist in isolation. They exist in supporting network of other present phenomena. For set one, mutual sustenance. A group of states arise together and by their very presence hold each other in existence. The failure or the disappearance of one weakens the entire structure. An Abhidhamma example, in a single moment of consciousness, the citta, the universal mental factor, like contact, feeling, perception, volition, all rise together. The presence of volition support the presence of attention, we support the presence of a contact, and so on. They are mutually support sustaining team. So a modern example, a state of float, when you are deeply immersed in a task, several factors are present, mutually supportive. Focal attention, clear goals, immediate feedback, and a sense of control. The continued presence of a focused attention, okay, is a condition for the continued presence of the sense of control. If any of one of these factors disappear, I mean you get distracted, the entire state of float collapse. Okay, another example, functional ecosystem. How you get a healthy coral reef. Paṭṭhāna-naya action. The presence of a coral pops provides the physical structure. The continual presence of this structure is a solution, is a condition for the presence of algae that live on them. This is state B. And the presence of both the coral and algae is a condition, the presence of small fish that feed and hide there, state C. So this entire ecosystem is a web of present condition. If the coral dies, it becomes vigata, the entire dependent community collapse. Okay? This is how I explain avijja, not yet fallen, non-disappearance. A second example, a stable business, a success company. The condition present of a positive cash flow. I mean, the company has plenty of cash. It's a condition for a continued presence of a robust R&D department. This is state B. And the presence of a skilled workforce, state C. Is a condition for presence of reputation for the quality, state D. All these elements are present simultaneously and support each other. The moment the cash flow dries up, vigata, this R&D department depends on it becomes threatened. Okay? This example of explaining avijja paccaya. Certain modes like root condition, hetu paccaya, object condition, alamana paccaya, and predominant condition, adipati paccaya, set the foundation mental factor for wholesome or unwholesome state. So by recognizing how this mode operate, practitioner can cultivate positive roots or as a basis for healthy mental development. Proximity and continuity condition demonstrate the sequence flow of mental events, emphasizing the continuity momentum in mental development. Repeated wholesome acts strengthen the good habits, beneficial quality, supporting gradual improvement in concentrating, mindfulness, and wisdom. And the interconnected and selflessness. Mutual support, coordination, and associating modes affecting how different mental factors arise together influence each other, highlighting the Buddhist teaching of no interdependent self. This understanding helps to reduce attachment, ignorance, and ego, creating a mental space for insight and emotion balance. And how to overcoming this unwholesome state. By understanding support and decisive support condition, practitioners learn to counteract unwholesome influences and reinforce positive condition in the mind, breaking the cycle of craving, aversion, and confusion. Dissociating and absent modes also show how separating from wholesome state can nurture mental freedom and purity. And nurturing enlightenment. Faculty, jhana, and path factor condition how deep meditation, wisdom, and ethical conduct interact to support enlightenment, higher mental development. As these states are cultivated, the practitioner experiences spiritual progress towards clarity, inner peace, and liberating from suffering. So in summary, the 24 conditional relations serve as a blueprint for understanding and intentionally shaping mental development of Buddhist practice, enabling personal transformation and progress on the spiritual path. And what's the practical importance? Paṭṭhāna analysis helps disciple distinguish between materiality and mental, realize the absence of an abiding self, and progress on the path to Nirvana. So understanding this condition brings purity of views and help overcome doubt about the nature of existence. Paṭṭhāna analysis has profound practical importance in Buddhist practice, especially helping disciples develop clear distinction between material and the mentality, recognize the absence of abiding self, and progress toward enlightenment. And overcome purity of views and overcoming doubt. By systematic studying the 24 condition relation outlined in Paṭṭhāna, practitioner gain insight into the true nature of existence, that all phenomena arise due to causes and conditions are inherently impermanent and non-self. This deepens one's understanding and brings purity of view, dispelling doubts about reality and cycling of suffering. And about spiritual progress. Paṭṭhāna guides insight meditation, allowing practitioner to directly observe the conditioned genesis of experience. This analytical knowledge brings comfort and certainty, enabling Buddhists to make wise, intentional choice and consistent advice toward liberation. Insight into conditional guards against misconception, reducing attachment and delusion about self. Practice mindfulness, wisdom, and under the Paṭṭhāna-naya foster emotional balance and less reactivity and clarity in both daily and spiritual practice. In summary, Paṭṭhāna condition analysis is integral for achieving clarity of mind, breaking free from confusion, attachment, and progressing securely for the Buddhist path toward Nibbana. And on the spiritual progress, predominance condition, dominant factors such as will and motivation temporarily influence others. Proximity condition, mental events occur sequentially, each preceding event the next, condition the next. The specific modes of Paṭṭhāna-naya relating to mental development such as predominant, proximity, continuity, coordination, mutuality, and support condition play a distinct role in shaping and rising continuity and integrity interplay of mental state in Buddhism. Predominant condition, Adipati-paccaya, refers to a dominant mental factor like will, in motivation, or intention, which temporarily influence or control other mental factors. These conditions highlight how strong volitional forces shape and immediate mental experiences and direct mental development, allowing for focused cultivation or unwholesome tendency to dominate temporarily. Proximity condition, Antara-paccaya, explain the consequences nature of mental events where each arising moment and consciousness immediately condition the next. This continuous flow facilitates the momentum in mental processes, critical for development of concentration, awareness, and evolving insight. And the continuity condition, Samantara-paccaya, emphasize the continuity between the successive mental events, ensuring a smooth, uninterrupted condition of mind and mental phenomena. This continuity supports and sustains mental states such as focus, attention, or mental absorption. Coordination condition, Sahajata-paccaya, account for phenomena that arise and exist simultaneously, condition one another. This mode explains how the various mental factors co-occur to produce a complex interrelated mental state, like happiness occurring with mindfulness, shaping the quality of experience. Mutuality condition, Anamata Paṭṭhāna, describe the reciprocal condition among mental phenomena, highlighting inter-supportive relationship. This mutual condition sustain balance, mental function, and interconnectedness within the mental important for mental stability and clarity. Support condition, Nisaya Paṭṭhāna, involves the direct or indirect supportive causes that enable certain mental state or phenomena to rise. This foundational mode explain how conditions like sense organs, faculties, or prior mental imprints provide the necessary support for specific experiences and mental developments. Together, this mode demonstrates the non-dynamic process of dynamic development in the Buddhist thought, showing how mental state arise from the complex interaction rather than simple linear causation. Understanding this conditional relation helps practitioner to intentionally cultivate wholesome mental factor and dismantle the unwholesome tendency for progress toward wisdom and liberation. Okay, so we come to the end. So only 3 of you here, am I right? 3, hello? 3 of you here only,
All are here.
All 4.
all 4. Okay, so tutorial for next session. Big Ling here. Big Ling,
Yeah.
you
Yes,
do
yes.
question 1.
Okay.
Brother Go, question 2.
Okay.
And Sister Sumeta, this one. 3.
Okay, number 3.
And Sister Teo, 4.
Okay.
Big Ling,
Wow.
5. Big Ling, 5. And Brother Go, 6. Do all of them.
Okay.
Brother Lau, 24 condition want to say all are very panjang eh.
You do one only, complain so much. Yeah, the other 2 you do 2. You do it next year. You will take exam next year, so don't worry so much. Try your best.
Yeah.
So okay,
Okay.
this one in 2 weeks time, I expect to see you. So next session, I expect to see all the 6. So take your time, go and do it.